Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joel. I'm now an undergraduate from Imperial Valley College and currently working in the ER as an RN. And for today's video, it's gonna be the one tip I wish I knew before nursing school and the NCLEX. Now, for nursing school and the NCLEX, you might think that they're two different things, because in nursing school you're learning and you're just hoping to pass the exam. And for the NCLEX, you just think like you already know everything and you just need to review and pass the exam. But the thing is that once you pass nursing school, you're gonna see that you only retained a little bit of information of each section, whether it's fundamentals, pharmacology, pediatrics, and so on. You know, you're not gonna get like, your mind when you take the NCLEX is not gonna be like when you were a student where you knew a vast majority of information on all categories. It's now gonna be like more condensed. And there's a particular thing that you can do in nursing school that you can apply while studying the NCLEX that you are going to find your studying experience to be easier and more meaningful in a sense. And that is the key part, meaningful. Now, the one study tip that I wish I knew before nursing school and before taking the NCLEX is finding meaning to the content that you're studying. That's the key thing. And once I learned that after nursing school, when I started learning new stuff in nursing school in the ER, it felt different. It wasn't the same as in school because I didn't feel I had to study to take an exam. You know, it was just like a skill or a new mindset that you can adapt in order to help your patients, and it can help you in critical situations. So I did find like, how is it that whenever I am learning new stuff in the ER, it's way easier than learning it like through a textbook or through YouTube videos? Like what's the difference there? And the difference that I saw was that I found meaning towards those things. The new content that I was learning was easier to put a meaning towards it and ask myself like, why is this relevant? Why is this important? Which is very different than in school, because in school they give you a lot of content and you just have to memorize it or just learn it and understand it. But you really don't really see like a profound reason as why you should really care about that, which makes your mind just forget eventually. But when you adapt meaning into contents, into specific sections, it's going to be harder for you to lose that memory. So when I applied that concept as I was studying for the NCLEX, when I was doing like the practice questions and stuff, fundamentals, critical care, I was adapting my mentality into having the notion of this is meaningful because this is a key thing to know in an emergency because of for X, Y, and Z. If I was doing like critical care questions on the NCLEX, or if it's pharmacology on diabetes, you know, like this is really important for me to know because I need to know what type of insulin I need to give in a critical state versus a patient that is normally taking other type of insulin and they think it's like a short term, but in the reality it's long term. So like the really meaningful thing about it is like we need to know the difference between them, because it's not gonna, in their health, they're not gonna see a lot of difference when they're taking their long term for their short term. When they're taking like their long term medications and thinking it's gonna be like a short term, and then like they're gonna be like hyperglycemic, and then they're gonna be in the ER. So like whenever you can answer yourself those questions, like why is this meaningful, like why should I care about this, and really try to convince yourself why the thing that you're studying right now is relevant, you're gonna find more meaning towards it, and it's gonna retain to yourself more, and it's gonna be harder for you to forget it. And there was actually a thing in a podcast that Elon Musk said that I'm gonna play right now, and you're gonna see like he also has this type of mentality. But I learned this like through trial and error, like me asking myself like, well, okay, like what can I change in my system in order for me to get more information? Like how is it possible that people can know more stuff in less period of time, and for me it takes longer, and for me it's boring? So when I was asking myself all these questions, that's when I came up with this type of framework, which then turned out to be like a thing going on. And when I was watching like one of the YouTube shorts, and then I was hearing like Elon Musk talk about this, I was like, oh my god, like, you know, it took me like a lot of months, probably years to get through this framework, and he already knew this framework from way back then. And I don't know from when this podcast was recorded and stuff. So now I'm listening to more podcasts in order to get like more information and more tips that I can apply, and then I can share with you guys to see if it works. But yeah, that's pretty much like the main thing about it. Like you must assign meaning towards it, whatever you're studying or learning, and you're going to be also more motivated, or at least you're gonna feel happy or having like a pleasurable time when you're studying, because it actually matters what you're doing, and you convince yourself that it actually matters to make you overall a better provider. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, applying this content to the NCLEX is key, because there's a lot of questions from the U world that you need to understand. So always have that framework in you, and really you have to convince yourself, because if you don't convince yourself, you just say the words just for you to say them and try to like to force yourself to believe it, it's harder, because fooling yourself, it's a really like difficult thing to do, because it matters how you say it, it matters the intention, like there's a lot of things behind it. Like it's not really easy to fool you, so you know yourself more than anybody else, so you must know what ways or what things you need to do in order to make yourself believe it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, please do so. I do receive some messages probably like twice a week from people, which is nice, and telling me about their day and everything, and like little tips here and there. So feel free to do it, and so I can get in contact with you guys and have like this type of like community bond in a sense. Alright guys, so you guys took here to the end of this video. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Brain something, what's the most valuable thing I could do?
Okay, well, here's something that could be helpful to people. In order to remember something, you must assign meaning to it. You have to say why.
Sure.
Just say like, why is relevant? And if you can say why something is relevant, you probably will remember it. But because your brain is basically constantly trying to forget everything as much as possible. It's hard to store memories.
Yeah.
So it's just
Things
naturally,
you care about.
Yeah, it's
right?
like most of the stuff that we see and hear is like not worth remembering. So in order for your brain to remember something, you have to establish relevance. Say why.